everybody, welcome to RPM, Rock and Pop Mandolin, your site, your destination for learning classic rock and pop songs on this lovely little 8-stringed instrument. My name is Mike DeJong, and in this lesson, we are taking a look at a classic from Van Halen, one of my favorite hard rock bands, and certainly featuring one of my favorite guitar players, the late great Eddie Van Halen. So I would like to dedicate this video to his memory, Mr. Van Halen passing away earlier this year. This is a fun song to play on the mandolin. It works, albeit in a little bit of a different configuration. I will explain that once we get into the tutorial. But first, a little bit of business. If you're new here, please hit that little red subscriber button on the way out. And also, please check out down below. We have some exciting things for you, including our new lesson series. It's 16 video lessons called Learning Rock and Pop Mandolin with Mike DeJong. It will teach you everything that a beginner or intermediate player needs to know to play rock and pop songs, including all scales and chords and strumming patterns. Just about everything to take you from beginner to intermediate player for only $29.99. So check out that link down below. We also have links for Patreon and affiliates, so check those out as well. If you'd like to support the channel a little bit more, we would really appreciate it. But that's enough business for now. Let's take a look at this Van Halen song called Ain't Talkin' About Love, right here for Mandolin on RPM. All right, Ain't Talkin' About Love is in the key of A minor, and basically it's just two chords throughout the entire song. Of course, there is there's a plethora of guitar licks that go over top of those two chords, but I will show you some of them, and as many as that I can do on the mandolin. Of course, we can't do all of the flashy things that Eddie Van Halen did on the guitar, but we can certainly play the song and do it some justice, all right? So the opening pattern is over an A minor chord to a G, all right? And those are basically the only chords you need to worry about in this entire song until the end when they hit that E7 chord. But here we go. This is an A minor, so you're at the second fret here of the G, second fret of the D, and third fret of the A string, right? A minor chord. Then, of course, you're going to go to a G chord, your standard open G, right? Second fret here of the A string, third fret of the E. Okay, and the pattern, first the chord pattern just goes. So you're just 1, 2, like that. And I'll get to that chord pattern a little bit more later, but I want to show you the opening lick first because it's so really cool. Okay, again, I'm doing it differently here on the mandolin just because of the way the mandolin is configured. We don't have the same strings as a guitar, but I can get it close here for you, all right? I'll do it really slowly for you. It goes like this. Okay, so what am I doing there? Well, first off, the first thing you want to keep in mind is to try, if you can, to get some palm muting going. I mean, Van Halen really does a palm muting on the guitar version, on the opening part of the song. He's just chunking that little lick, those notes in those chords, right? But we can do that as well in the mandolin by palm muting. You can put your palm right down here, just across the bridge, as I have here with my right hand, as you can see that in the video. So place that down there. So, and you can get this kind of, you can get a very sort of deadened kind of note, which is what you're aiming for here on the intro. So, right, just like that, all right? So what are those notes? Well, basically I'm just arpeggiating the notes in the A minor chord to start off with. So you're going, so I'm going 2, 2, 3, and then back to that first 2, which is right there on your G string. So just like this. So just like this. You see that? I skipped the this note, the E note, on the way down. Okay, so I went up 2, 2, 3, and then 2. So so what's that? Well, that's from there, you're going. Okay, so you're going open on the E, first on the E, then right down to the third there again, third fret of the A, and then open A. So And you're ending up on that A note there. So one more time from the first part of the arpeggio. You see that? And then you're going, all right, well, at least I do. Again, these notes are slightly different than what Eddie was doing on the guitar. I'm doing the mandolin version based on the way the mandolin is set up and the strings and the way they're tuned. The guitar notes are slightly different. That's fine. We can still do it justice here on the mandolin. So once again, the A minor lick is... And then I'm going... That's a G pattern there. So I'm jumping up to that 3rd fret on the E. That's a G note there. And I'm coming down to here, the 5th fret of the A string, which is a D. And then I'm just I'm skipping all the way down to that lowest G note there. Like that, okay? So one more time, really slowly. You see what I did there? All right, so one more time on that lick is... Oh, okay, what's that at the end there now that I'm throwing in? Well, I'm throwing in a... Like that. So I'm going open G. So open here to 5, 4, 5, 2. Okay, now I want to make a little point here. I'm using a note that's not in the original version of this song. On the original track, Eddie is playing a low E string first. All right, so we can't do that on the mandolin. We don't have a low E string. So what I'm doing instead is using that G note. Like that, okay? So just to keep that in mind, on the guitar, he's using a low E. I'm using a G here to get into that note. And actually, to be perfectly honest with you, the original version is tuned down a half a step as well, right? So it's tuned down to E flat originally. So if you were trying to jam along with this song with the original recording, you're going to find it's in a little different tuning than what the mandolin is, the standard tuning of the mandolin. Now you have two options. You can detune the mandolin down to G flat and you can play along with it, the notes that I'm showing you, or you can get a downloadable app from the iTunes store or somewhere else, and I've got a couple of them that I've used, and I'll put a link to it down in the description box below, but there are apps that you can get to tune songs, tune the pitch of songs either up or down slightly. So I used it before when I did the Bob Seger video. I used this app to learn night moves. And I've also used this app to play along with this song, Ain't Talkin' About Love by Van Halen, by tuning it up slightly. So do that. Look for some apps that you can download where you can change the pitch of the song and jam along with it. Otherwise, you might have trouble playing along with the original track. But I'm showing you in standard tuning here. One more time. Here we go. The opening lick. And you kind of pause on that. Like that. I'm lingering on that C note there, which is the 5th fret, right, of the G string. So, like that. All right, and that is the opening pattern to the song. All right, the verses now, as I showed you before, those two chords, A minor to G. And the only difference is, what I didn't show you was that little pattern. That's utilized in this sequence as well. So it goes... Right, so it's just 1, 2, 3. So, slowly. And it's a little difficult to get back to that A minor chord from here, but if you practice it, you can get it, all right? So let's try that again. See? Like that. You got to jump back to that A minor, okay? So that's the first and the third times through that pattern. They do... Right, so again, that's open, 5, 4, 5, 2. Like that. And when you get back to the 2, you can fret this chord again, right? Because that chord is at the 2, at the 2nd fret. So, like that. You see that? Okay, and the strumming is like that. It's just simple. And you kind of linger on that G chord. Like that. Now, I'm going to throw in a couple other licks that are a little bit different than what Van Halen does, but these work nicely on the mandolin too. You can do this. Watch. That's kind kind of what Eddie does on the guitar, but he's using, you know, the tremolo bar or whatever, the whammy bar, and he's doing a lot of screams and bends and all of that stuff that we can't do in the mando. But I think it sounds pretty cool when you do. So the first time through, you will do the standard lick like that. So second time through, do that. All right, so what is that? Well, that's just 5, 2, 5. Okay, 5 on the G, 2 on the D, 5 on the D. So like that. You see what I did there? So, and I'm just going. You can do it any way you want. You can go, or whatever you like. Those 3 notes work for me in this pattern. Okay, and now in the verses of the song, it goes back to that little arpeggiated pattern that we saw at the beginning of the song, but this time Eddie plays it a little bit differently, and he goes kind of like this. Right? Okay, so I'm going same thing as the beginning on the A minor chord. So 2, 2, 3, 2, and then you're doing that note again, but you're not coming down this time. You're going right to a G chord next. Okay, so watch what I'm doing here. Like that. You see that? So it's really tricky, but if you practice it, you can get it. So let's try it. And then. So you see that? I'm doing. And that's played all through the verses, that little arpeggiated pattern. All right, and if you want to do the lead guitar solo of this song on the mandolin, it's pretty easy. It's over those 2 chords again, A minor to G, and it's a really nice little pattern. It goes. And I'm throwing that little lick in there at the end if you want. You can do that, or you can just go to that note there, whatever you like. You can do a tremolo if you want to do that. All of that will work on the mandolin. So what are those chords, or what are those notes? It's, so you start off on that 2nd fret of the D string, which is an E note, right? Just like that. Okay, so you're going 2, 5, open, 2, and then again. So you're adding that 3rd in there, the 3rd fret. So, right, and then, and that's a little tricky. You're going 2, 3, 2, 2, 2. Okay, you're skipping all the way down to that 2 there. All right, so one more time here. Right, and then, so next time you're climbing up on that A string, you're going. So that's open, 2, 3, 5, and then 7. You want to do that, or you can just stay there on the 7. I'm doing just kind of a little lick like that. I don't even know if I was in time with it or not, but I think it sounds pretty cool. And so what is that? Well, that's just your pinky finger here on the 7th fret, and your 2nd finger here, 5th fret, 1st finger on the 3rd. So 7, 5, 3, and then open A. So, right, you got to pick it pretty fast to get it. It's kind of hard to get it clean, but if you work on it, you might be able to get it. So watch the whole solo part again. Right, throw that in. I added there's a little pickup note in there too. So I'll do it one more time. So there's a pickup 3, 5 to the 7, okay? You can just stay on that 7 if that feels better for you there. Okay, so one more time. Okay, I'm just doing a tremolo there, and then it's back into that pattern again. Okay, we've learned all of the parts in the song so far until the ending, and the ending is just right, so what's that? Well, it's played over these notes on the G string. Like that. Okay, so you're starting here at the 2nd fret of the G string, then you're going to the 4th fret and the 5th fret, so A, B, C, and then back down again, C, B, A, B, and then an E chord, or an E minor chord, right? 2nd fret here and 2nd fret here, open G, right? So, like that, and then same pattern. And you're ending on this chord, which is an E7 chord. All right, and I'm actually adding this note as well, the G in there. So, all right, so what is that chord? Well, 1st fret here, G string, open here on the D, and then you've got that 2nd fret there of the A string, and I'm adding that 3rd fret of the E. All right, it's a really nice, kind of a Jimi Hendrix style chord right there. That's what ends the song. So one more time, that little pattern is dainty. Like that. All right, that is it. That is everything you need to know for Van Halen's Ain't Talking About Love. A lot of fun to play on the mandolin. Hope you enjoy that tutorial. I hope you get to play it. Thanks very much for tuning in once again. If you're new here, hit that subscriber button, that little red tab. And if you're not, thanks for coming back. But don't forget to check out my new lesson series down below. Learn Rock and Pop Mandolin with Mike DeJong. There's also a Patreon link and some affiliate links down there as well. Thanks very much for tuning in to RPM once again. My name is Mike DeJong.